Hey there, you guys. Welcome back. Well, today we are going to be answering a question that is a very frequent question. It's a good question. I get it from a lot of my family members that are growing Phalaenopsis orchid. That question is, where do I cut the flower spike back? Well, there's several answers to that, and it all depends on your own personal preference. You can, what can you do? A lot of times with Phalaenopsis, they will produce a secondary spike. So some people will cut the flower stem back, and I'll bring you a little bit closer so you can see, down to a couple of nodes on here, and then that kind of triggers something inside the plant that says, ooh, I gotta bloom some more. So by trimming it back just a little bit, you could potentially get a secondary spike. Now the thing with the secondary spike is it's never as showy as the original spike. And some people think that if there is a secondary spike going on and it's still blooming, your plant doesn't want to produce another primary spike, like a first spike that comes shooting out from the side of the plant. Those are always the most showy. So you could try to get a secondary bloom, or you can cut it right back to the ground as well. Also, another fun thing about Phalaenopsis orchids, if you're new to them, they are one of the interesting ones that produce or can produce babies on a flower spike, kind of like a spider plant does. They call them keikis, and they're just baby plants that grow there, and they'll produce roots like a spider plant, and they can even flower on the spike as well, which is kind of interesting. It's not necessarily something that you want to have happen because that will stress out the mother plant quite a bit. But it's still really, really cool. So yeah, let me bring you in a little bit closer and we'll go about it. I'll show you the tools that we need first. You'll want some scissors or sharp blade. You'll want some rubbing alcohol to disinfect the scissors. And I like to use these face pads to get the alcohol on, and then I rub down the scissors with them. So anyway, let's get a little bit closer and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, so first off, we're going to sterilize these scissors with our rubbing alcohol. This is really inexpensive. You can get this at any drugstore, or Walmart has it. Everywhere has it. Hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol. Just going to get a good amount on the scissors here, and we're just going to clean it off. You want to do this so that you don't spread any infection if your plant has an infection, or maybe there's something that's on the scissors existing. You don't want that to be transferred to your plant. If you're cutting off dead material, then that's a different story. I don't necessarily sterilize to get the dead crunchy bits, but when I do green growth, it's best to sterilize because you never know what's going to be pulled back into the plant. So, okay, I'll do the two different types of pruning here. I don't want to touch this stem because this stem here is blooming right now. If we cut that back, then we're just going to be sad for a few months. And this is a nice fragrant type of Phalaenopsis that I've shown before, and I don't want to get rid of those blooms. So anyway, along the flower stem, you'll notice that there's little nodes, little dormant nodes. Can you see that? It's a little flap there. So you want to count up about 3 different nodes. So there's 1, there's 2, and then there's 3 here. As you can see here, it is already branched along this node. See, there's two stems here. So that's kind of what you're aiming for. Let me just cut off this brown crunchy bit. So what I would do is, again, we're going to count up 1, 2, 3 nodes. This is the 3rd node. I might even go up 4 nodes, and I'll just trim it right there like that. And then the same thing with the one on the little side one. I'll just trim it at its 3rd or 4th node, and you could leave it like that. And maybe in a month or 2 months, you might notice that the nodes down below, like this one here, or this one maybe again, or there's this one here, you might notice that start to swell up and start producing some more buds. But if you want to just have the plant produce at another time main primary bloom spike again, which, like I said, are the most showy ones, you could just take your bloom spike and cut it as close down to the main stem as you can. Do you see where I've got my scissors there? Right next to where it joins into the plant. And just trim it off. So that's the two ways that you can do it. I usually don't do anything with my flower spikes if they're still green, because there's still a chance that they'll produce a baby, a keiki, a baby plant, or some more blooms. But if they start to go a little bit yellow, then that means that they're basically dead, and then I cut them right back to the plant, the base of the plant. But it's all up to personal preference. If you're looking for more and more blooms, then try to just cut off a few nodes and try to force it into bloom again. Stay tuned for more updates. I've ordered some keiki paste, and maybe when this one is finished blooming, we'll try some keiki paste on it and see if we can't get some baby plants to grow along the stem, or the flower spike. That'll be really exciting. So anyway, I hope you found this useful, and if you have any other questions, just feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to help you out the best I can. Was looking really good, and then all of a sudden it went yellow, as you guys saw, and just didn't look very good after that. So let's pop it out of here, see what the